Evening Southeast Texas, I'm Karen Burchett. Cladra has the night off. We begin with breaking updates after a woman's body was found this morning. Beaumont police have identified a suspect. 34-year-old Thaddeus McCray is facing a murder charge. He surrendered to police today after he was found on Euclid Street. The case covered 3 scenes today. The 6500 block of French Road near Terrell Park, where 33-year-old Laquanta Edwards' body was found. The 2300 block of Ashley Avenue, where her car was found. And a house down the block is where officers are still searching a home. Investigators say they found evidence a crime was committed there.
Late night, December 4th. Laquanta Edwards is calling her friend, not to chat, not to catch up. She needs help. Her friend tries everything, tracking her phone, calling police, giving them the exact location. Officers search the area. They find nothing. By morning, Laquanta's body is on the side of the road, 9 miles away. Multiple stab wounds. And the duplex where her phone last pinged. Blood evidence inside and out back. Make it make sense. Laquanta Edwards was 33 years old. A black woman living in Beaumont, Texas, Southeast Texas, where everybody knows everybody, and news travels fast. The kind of place where a murder shakes the whole community because it hits close to home. Now, Beaumont ain't small, but it ain't huge either. About 115,000 people. Mix of working-class neighborhoods, historic districts, and areas that seen better days. The Oaks Historic District on Ashley Avenue. That's one of the spots people move to because it feels safe. Tree-lined streets, older homes with character, families raising kids, the type of neighborhood where folks choose to put down roots. But like any city, Beaumont got its shadows too. Domestic violence, relationship drama that turns deadly. That's what this channel is about. The crimes that happen between people who's supposed to know each other. Love, trust, and then violence. Laquanta wasn't from the duplex on Ashley Avenue. She didn't live there. Neighbors would later tell reporters they hadn't seen anyone living in that property for months. It sat empty, quiet, until it wasn't. The man who had his name on that lease? Thaddeus McCray, 34 years old. He had a girlfriend. He had a job. He had a spot he was renting that nobody knew he was using. And on December 4th, Laquanta Edwards ended up there. We don't know the full nature of their relationship. Police haven't said if they were involved romantically, if they knew each other casually, or how their paths crossed. What we do know is that whatever brought Laquanta to that duplex on Ashley Avenue, it ended in violence. December 4th, 2025, late at night. Laquanta makes a phone call. She's reaching out to a friend, someone she trusts, and she's asking for help. Now, we don't know exactly what she said in that call. Police haven't released the details of that conversation. But whatever it was urgent enough that her friend didn't waste time, didn't wait to see if Laquanta would call back, didn't brush it off as drama. This friend took action immediately. Here's what that friend did. Pulled up Laquanta's smartphone location. Modern phones got that feature. You can share your location with people you trust, or if you got the right apps, someone can track where your phone is pinging from. That friend zeroed in on Laquanta's last known location, the 2400 block of Ashley Avenue in Beaumont. And then that friend called the police, gave them the address, told them Laquanta needed help, said she was in trouble. Officers responded. They went to the area before midnight, late evening on December 4th, still technically December 4th, going into the 5th. They searched. They looked around the 2400 block of Ashley Avenue, checking for any sign of Laquanta Edwards. They didn't find her. Now, let's pause right here, because this is important. Laquanta's friend did everything right, tracked the phone, called the police, gave them the location. Police showed up and searched, but they came up empty. And by the time the sun rose on December 5th, it was already too late. Where was Laquanta while officers were searching Ashley Avenue? We don't know for certain. Was she already gone? Was she still fighting? Was she being moved? The timeline is murky, but what's clear is that between that late-night call for help and 7:48 the next morning, Laquanta Edwards was killed. December 5th, 2025, 7:47 in the morning. Some reports say 7:48 a.m. Dispatch gets a call. Someone spotted a body near Terrell Park on French Road, also called Frint Drive depending on who you ask. It's an area south of the park, residential, but with stretches of road where someone could dump something, or someone, without being seen right away. Officers arrive, and there she is, Laquanta Edwards, 33 years old, lying on the side of the roadway, a black woman, deceased. And she didn't just collapse. She didn't have a medical emergency. She had been attacked, stabbed, multiple times. The wounds tell the story even before detectives start piecing together the timeline. This was personal. This was violent. This was someone who wanted her dead. Justice of the Peace Ransom Jones responded to the scene. He pronounced Laquanta Edwards dead right there and ordered an autopsy. By this point, detectives are already moving. Crime scene techs are processing the area. But the biggest question is, where did this happen? Because Laquanta wasn't killed on the side of French Road. That was just where her body ended up. Detectives start working backwards. They know about the call Laquanta made the night before. They know her friend pinpointed her location to the 2400 block of Ashley Avenue. And they know officers checked that area and found nothing. So what happened between midnight and 7:47 a.m.? Investigators go back to Ashley Avenue. This time they're not just doing a welfare check. They're treating this as a homicide investigation. And they start narrowing in on a specific address, 2454 Ashley Avenue, a duplex. Around 11:20 a.m. on December 5th, officers raid the property. News cameras catch them going in. The duplex is empty. Nobody's home. But as soon as detectives step inside, they know they found the crime scene. There's evidence of violence inside the home. Blood. Signs of a struggle. And out back, behind the duplex, more evidence that something terrible happened here. This is where Laquanta Edwards was last located alive. This is where she was attacked. This is where she was stabbed multiple times, and then her body was moved, loaded up, driven 9 miles away to French Road, and left on the side of the road like trash. Officers also located Laquanta's SUV. It wasn't at the duplex. It wasn't where her body was found. It was parked in the 2300 block of Ashley Avenue, just down the block from the duplex, but not right in front of it. Separated, abandoned. So now investigators got 3 scenes. The duplex on Ashley Avenue, where the attack happened, Laquanta's SUV down the block, and her body 9 miles away near Terrell Park. Whoever did this moved her, tried to distance the crime scene from the dump site, tried to buy time. But here's the thing about modern investigations. Your phone tells on you. Your car tells on you. Your lies tell on you. And Thaddeus McCray was about to learn that the hard way. Now detectives got a crime scene. They got a body. They got a victim who called for help hours before she died. The next step, find out who had access to that duplex on Ashley Avenue. Who was the last person with Laquanta Edwards? The property at 2454 Ashley Avenue was supposed to be empty. Neighbors told reporters they hadn't seen anyone living there in months, but somebody had the keys. Somebody had been using that space, and investigators didn't have to dig too deep to find out who. Thaddeus McCray, 34 years old. His name was on the lease. He was the tenant. Detectives start building a timeline on McCray. Where was he on December 4th going into December 5th? What was he doing? Who can verify his whereabouts? They talked to his girlfriend, and right away, things start sounding off. She tells them McCray was missing overnight. She couldn't reach him, couldn't find him. He was just gone. Then, when she finally got him on the phone, he told her he'd been at work. Simple explanation, right? Except it wasn't true. The girlfriend also mentioned something else. When McCray came home, he was wearing his work clothes, and he was driving a white Honda. She's giving investigators details, painting a picture of a man who seemed normal, who had an alibi, who was just coming home from work like any other day. But detectives don't take anybody's word at face value. They contact McCray's employer, and that's when the story starts falling apart. McCray's job confirms he was at work on December 4th, but he didn't work through the night like he told his girlfriend. He left hours earlier. He clocked out and left the job site hours before he called his girlfriend, claiming he was still working. So where was he during those missing hours? What was he doing? Who was he with? Detectives pull phone records. They look at cell tower data. They track pings, those digital breadcrumbs your phone leaves every time it connects to a tower. And McCray's phone? It pinged in the immediate vicinity of where Laquanta Edwards' body was found on French Road near Terrell Park. Let me say that again. His phone was in the area where her body was dumped, not near the duplex on Ashley Avenue where the crime happened. That's a given since he rented the place, but 9 miles away where her body was left on the side of the road. That's not a coincidence, that's evidence. They matched the phone ping from Laquanta's late-night call for help to the duplex at 2454 Ashley Avenue. They found the evidence of violence inside and behind the home. They tracked down McCray's lies about working. They confirmed his phone placed him at the dump site. Every piece of the puzzle was falling into place. By December 5th, the same day Laquanta's body was found, detectives had enough. They went to Judge Ben Collins and got a murder warrant signed for Thaddeus McCray. Now it was time to bring him in. Beaumont's Special Assignment Unit started searching for McCray. They tracked him to Euclid Street. Officer Williams said they identified the occupant of the residence as Thaddeus McCray and were able to locate Mr. McCray on Euclid Street. McCray didn't run. He didn't put up a fight. He surrendered peacefully. Detectives took him into custody and transported him straight to Jefferson County Jail. The case moved fast, from body discovery at 7:47 a.m. to an arrest by the end of the day on December 5th. That's less than 12 hours. Investigators didn't waste time. They had their suspect, they had their evidence, and they had a dead woman who deserved justice. But as McCray was being taken in, as cameras showed up and reporters started asking questions, the man who had been lying to his girlfriend, lying to police, and trying to cover his tracks, he had very little to say.
Where we find 12 News reporter Daniela Tabuada-Palau, who has the latest. Daniela.
Cameron, I'm along Ashley Avenue in the Oaks Historic District where detectives have been inside the home behind me for hours, and here's what we know. Officers were dispatched south of Terrell Park around 7:47 a.m., followed by crime scene techs. Beaumont police say the victim was Laquanta Edwards, a 33-year-old woman. Jefferson County Precinct 6 Justice of the Peace Ranson Jones tells 12 News he pronounced her dead at the scene and ordered an autopsy. Police say they determined that Edwards was last seen in the 2400 block of Ashley Avenue. While in the area, police found her car. Just down the block, 12 News was there as empty as officers raided an empty duplex around 11:20 a.m. Detectives say the duplex is where the victim was last located and that they were able to find evidence of a crime scene located inside and behind the home. Officers did say she did not live in the home, but neighbors said the home was empty for months and they were shocked.
I'm really shocked because I would have never thought I would actually see something happen this close to my house. We picked this neighborhood because it felt safe and it felt like a beautiful neighborhood that I can raise my family in, and we wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Beaumont police remain along Ashley right now investigating the duplex. Again, police have just arrested a man in the murder. We will continue to update you on air and online. Live in Beaumont, Danielle Tawada-Palau, 12 News.
Reporters surrounded Thaddeus McCray as he was brought into custody. They shouted questions at him, gave him every opportunity to speak, to explain, to say something, anything, to Laquanta Edwards' family or to the public.
Do you have anything to say to the family of the victim? Do you have anything to say to the public?
If you have anything to say, now's your chance.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Said everything that I need, so thank you.
Now's your chance to speak your mind. What are you feeling?
This is your final chance. Do you have anything else you want to add? Do you have anything to say to the victim's family?
McCray kept his head down, didn't make eye contact, didn't acknowledge the questions. That was it. That was his response. Not an apology, not a denial, not an explanation, just a dismissive brush-off like the reporters were bothering him. A magistrate set his bond on Saturday at the jail. McCray was facing a murder charge. One count, the death of Laquanta Edwards. And all he had to offer was silence and a cold, "I said everything that I need, so." Laquanta Edwards was 33 years old. She had a life. She had people who loved her. She had a friend who tried everything to save her when she called for help that night. And in the end, it wasn't enough. Her body was found on the side of French Road, stabbed multiple times, dumped like she didn't matter. But she did matter. Her death shook Beaumont. It shook the Oaks Historic District, where people moved because they wanted to feel safe. One neighbor told reporters, "I'm really shocked because I would have never thought I would actually see something happen this close to my house. We picked this neighborhood because it felt safe, and it felt like a beautiful neighborhood that I can raise my family in, and we wouldn't have to worry about anything." But violence doesn't care about safe neighborhoods. It doesn't care about tree-lined streets or historic homes. It finds its way in through relationships, through trust, through people who're supposed to be safe but turn out to be anything but. Thaddeus McCray is sitting in Jefferson County Jail. The investigation is still ongoing. Police haven't released every detail about Laquanta's cause of death. They haven't said what the relationship was between her and McCray. They haven't told us what led her to that duplex on December 4th, or what happened in those final moments before she was killed. But what we do know is this: a woman called for help, and by morning, she was dead. A man lied about where he was, and his phone told the truth. And a community is left asking how something like this happens right in their backyard. If you have any information about this case, Beaumont Police ask that you contact them at 409-832-1234 or Southeast Texas Crime Stoppers at 833-TIPS. This is 12 a.m. Crimes, where we talk about the violence that happens behind closed doors, in relationships, between people who are supposed to love each other. If this story touched you, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you or someone you know is in a dangerous relationship, reach out Get help, because your life matters. Until next time, stay safe out there.